Hello, Kat.
Hi, John.
How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I don't know. I missed you so much.
I missed you
I
too.
don't-
It feels like it's been a long time.
It's because it's been a long time, Kat. That's why it feels that way.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been too long since I've seen your smiling face, other than in a photo at a con, just rubbing elbows with the famousest of the famous.
well,
So,
that's. I'm not going to touch that. But
Yeah.
hey, listen. Last time I saw you was in person,
it was.
right?
It was. And we didn't even record a podcast while we
No.
were seeing each other in person.
We
It was a
didn't.
celebration of my birthday, which is well into 4 digits at this point.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, yeah. But just so everybody knows, I'm still COVID conservative.
Yes.
It was in the backyard. It was outside, which is where most backyards are.
Generally,
Yeah, and Kat was also very conscientious and even put her mask on for a majority of the night, even though we were outside.
That's right.
Because she had recently attended a convention where there had been, some
I had been
reports.
exposed to the COVID.
Well, you hadn't been, but you
Well,
might,
I
have
mean,
been.
I was around people who have been tested positive. So
Right,
Doesn't that
right.
counts as exposure, doesn't it?
I don't know. They like when you've just been exposed, you can't spread it yet. So I don't know. I think you have to, for exposure, you got to be around somebody who got it.
Okay.
Okay, that's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right on.
what are we doing here?
Oh,
Kat?
that's a great question. John, we're recording a podcast.
In fact, we are.
Yes.
After a good 2 weeks of not doing that thing, which
Yeah.
is a very rare break, but I think we both needed it.
I absolutely did. I needed time to be anxious and nervous. Takes up a big part of my day, John.
Hey, I just try to kind of feather that in with the rest of my schedule, the anxiety and the nervousness of modern living. Yeah. I mean, when I was young, I used to be worried about nuclear war. Now I don't worry about that as much, but there's so many things that have replaced it, Kat.
Yeah, of course. Take your pick.
Yeah, totally. So we're recording a podcast, and on this podcast, what is it that we do again? Because it's been too long.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I did some research. We talk about mistakes.
Okay.
Sometimes we talk about our mistakes, being you and myself. We share
Right.
mistakes from our own lives.
We do.
Sometimes we invite people on the podcast and talk about their mistakes.
I've heard that we did do that.
That's true. Sometimes one of us will do research on a hysterical mistoric or historical mistake.
Sometimes one of us will. Lately, that one of us has mostly been the you one of us.
And we'll do that sometimes. And sometimes we don't do any of those things.
Right. Sometimes that's where we just shoot the shit.
That's right.
That's right. That's what we do then.
Cue the music. We're shooting the shit, John.
We're shooting the shit. It's a shit shooter. So we shoot shit. And you, dear mistaker, are the benefactor or the victim of same.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew pew. Yep, there it is. There's the music. Yeah, we do that. But I have, for the first time in a long time, Kat.
First time, long time.
First time, long time. I have an idea
Oh.
for something that people in the business sometimes call a segment.
Oh. Do tell. Do tell.
And that segment is up for debate as to what we're going to call it. I have
Okay.
considered the Oops Files.
I like that. Strong.
Oops, Google did it again. Mistake my wife, please. Whatever you want to call it. But it basically is when I will go on just before we record, because that's the level of planning that I usually employ. And I will Google either oops or mistake
Oh, interesting.
or gaffe or something like that. And then I will, from an editorial standpoint, decide. Now, it has to be on the first page, right?
Okay.
It's got to be on the first page. And it's generally going to be from news because we want these things to change. We want it to be topical. This is all a pitch. You realize I'm just pitching here. So
I love it. So far, it's
yeah.
going really well.
I think so, because I haven't actually done anything except bullshit yet. And that's what I'm best at. So so I did this, you may have guessed, just before we connected.
Okay.
And the winner of the word that I was going to Google for this segment
Yes.
was mistake. And so I would like to now read to you, Kat, the article from the Washington Post that wins the Oops Files today.
I can't wait.
May I do that for you?
Please do this.
Okay. Again, it's Washington Post. It's from June 16th, which is the day that we are, in fact, recording.
Yes.
It's from 7:33 a.m., which is about 13 hours ago.
Yeah. Pretty fresh. Pretty timely.
I'd like to think so. And the headline on the article is the thing I'm about to say, which is charging 69 cents for gas was, quote, an honest mistake, end quote. He's hoping to repay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
A frenzy erupted last week at a California gas station as bewildered customers found they could fill up their tanks at a price last seen in the 1970s.
Oh, no.
With prices at the pump soaring to record highs, vehicles flooded in. Customers called their friends and family members, urging them to hit up the Shell gas station that was charging just 69 cents a gallon.
Oh, no.
But their luck ended up costing John, and now this is going to be a stretch, Chechina his job after the Rancho Cordova, California gas station he managed lost some $20,000 in sales.
No.
Right. It all came down to, quote, an honest mistake, end quote. Chechina told the Washington Post he only learned about the circus that had formed when he arrived the next morning for his shift. By then, it was too late.
Yeah.
After being placed on administrative leave, Chechina said he was fired Monday for the costly blunder.
Oh, shit.
Now,
John.
Chechina-
The guy's name is John?
It is John,
Poor John.
and it's SZCZECINA. So I'm going with Chechina.
It's great.
I probably wrong, listeners. If you, I suspect this is possibly a Polish last name, maybe Czech. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah. I mean, I feel for this guy. I know that I once made a code mistake that I've never talked about on the show because it's super. It's not even that it's technical. It's just it's boring for me to describe how I did it.
Sure.
But I cost my company at least $20,000 in sales on a Black Friday sale because I took down our e-commerce site.
Shit.
Yeah. I basically just I did a distributed denial of service attack on ourselves. And they did not fire me for that, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
And maybe dumb. I don't know. But I later left of my own free will. So let me get back to John
Our John,
Chechina here. Yeah, our John here. Now, Chechina is making it his mission to repay his former employer.
No.
And strangers are pitching in to help.
Don't do that, John. John, don't do that.
I mean, maybe it doesn't have to go to Shell. Maybe he can do the GoFundMe or whatever, and it goes into his pocket. But we'll see. Okay, so here we're going to find out. Donations to a GoFundMe set up by his family have poured in since his story went viral. As of early Thursday, the campaign had raised more than $13,000.
Okay.
Even though it cost me my job, it's fine. Because the truth is, it said no one seriously ever.
Ever.
But,
Yeah, exactly.
Because the truth is, it's my fault, Chechina said. I know nobody wants to say that anymore, but I felt it was important to own up to my mistake and do everything I can do to make it right. And the fact that the title of our podcast fell in there is it's just a nice extra.
It's nice.
Shell did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Washington Post. A representative for its U.S. division told the New York Post that the station Shechina managed is independently owned.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if it were actually Shell Corporation, they would hire him back just for the feel-good PR of it all.
Sure.
Shechina said he got an email on June 9th instructing him to change the premium gas price, mind you, to $6.99 per gallon.
Sure.
The third notification of a price hike he had received that week. In California, drivers are facing the highest fuel prices in the country. You don't have to tell us. With the cost of a gallon hitting a record average of $6.43, according to AAA data. The national average for regular gas on Saturday for the first time climbed over $5. The gas station where Shechina worked had already begun seeing the effects of ever-increasing fuel prices, he said. We weren't making a profit anymore, the former manager said. I'd been doing everything I could, from cutting back on stuff we weren't selling as much to making sure we had the soda, coffee, anything my regulars liked. It's been really hard. So when I saw I had to raise gas prices again, it just seemed like a nightmare. The morning of June 9th, Shechina typed in 699 3 times into his computer to set the new price. The final step was to confirm the change was reflected at the pumps. But before he could do the check, Kat, a truck outside hit a curb, sending the water bottles it was carrying flying across the parking lot.
My goodness.
For the next 20 minutes, Shechina said he helped the truckers pick up their cargo. Several more work tasks occupied his attention, and the need to check the gas price on the pumps faded from Shechina's mind. He left the station by 2:30 p.m. and went to bed early in preparation for a 4:30 a.m. start the next day.
This guy's a goddamn hero.
He is. He is. You know, I worked at a Shell station in college. I worked the graveyard shift. It's a thankless job. No one ever thanked me, I'll tell you that. And as the manager, this poor schlub. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. He left the station by 2:30, went to bed early in preparation for 4:30 a.m. start the next day. That is when he arrived to find the gas station's district manager waiting for him. I immediately thought we had gotten robbed and was scared that something terrible had happened to the cashiers, Shechina said. Right? Good guy. I mean,
such a nice guy.
He's either actually a good guy or he has already hired like a publicist and a PR person to make sure that he's coming off as this good guy.
He's just saying all the right things.
He really is. Yeah. Instead, he learned about the craze his typo had caused when he mistakenly set the new premium gas price to just 69 cents a gallon. The last time a gallon was that cheap was in 1978, according to the U.S. Department of Energy. Kat, were you born in 1978?
I was a year old in 1978.
Fair enough. I knew that, but I just asked it anyway.
Oh, thank you.
I felt so terrible and just knew I was about to lose my job, Shechina said. So I gave the district manager my keys and drove back to my home and began updating my resume.
My goodness.
Now he is spending his days applying to jobs and going to interviews. In between, he has been taking his dog to the river amid California's scorching temperatures. I really, really just want to go back to working, he added. Although he didn't want to lose his job, he said he'd confess to his mistake all over again because, quote, it was the right and honest thing to do, end quote. He and his family have also found a silver lining, the outpouring of support they have received from strangers hoping to help him repay his former employer. His sister, Paula Jackson, Ms. Jackson if you're nasty, who organized the campaign, said Shechina's attitude shows the goodness of his heart. He doesn't have to pay it back, Jackson said, but just the fact that he is doing it and wants to do it shows a lot of character and honesty and responsibility, and I'm really proud of him for that. It takes guts to say, I made a mistake, she added. And isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth, Kat?
It is. We are goddamn heroes.
We are heroes. We have so much guts. We have talked about every damn mistake we've ever made in our
We
life.
have all the guts, John.
We do. We're full of guts. I love your guts, Kat.
I love your guts, John. So is that the end of the story?
That's the end of the story.
First
Yeah.
of all, we
Yeah.
got to get John on this show.
I
Can we reach out
feel
to
like
John?
we do. He's not working right now.
He's got time. And at first, before you revealed to us through the reading of the article, at first it was like, well, it's Shell. Like, fuck Shell. They have money, but no, it's a privately owned business with a Shell
Sure.
franchise or whatever.
Yeah. 20 grand's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of money for a small business.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of money.
Yep.
So the fact that he's trying to pay it back, that alone says a lot. Like, come on, man, get this guy's jobs back. He's stalking. He makes sure that he has his favorite, his customers' favorite stuff in stock, so that
Yeah.
they'll keep coming
Yeah.
in because he's so worried about them not turning a profit. Like, this
Yeah.
guy really cares about his job.
For sure. No, I mean, it is very clear. He cared about his job. He typed in. The problem is that they go to 3 decimal points at gas stations. So when
Right.
you type in 6.99, that means 69.9, like 0.699 cents for it. So it's really 70 cents essentially, because it's always 9. The last digit's always 9. So he really should have typed in 6999 instead of 699. That's why it ended up that way.
Well, let's
but we
get
need
this
to
guy
reach
on-
out to
let's get-
him
Please, can
Yeah.
we get this guy on the podcast, please?
for sure, because
How do we do that?
I don't know. Does he he probably doesn't have an agent? I'm thinking at this point.
Booking agent.
I
I mean,
mean-
his name is pretty unusual, I would think, for
Yeah.
that part of the state. I would
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah, and it was Rancho, one of the ranchos.
Rancho Merced, Rancho
No,
Madera, Rancho M something. I thought.
Rancho Cordova.
Nope, Cordova.
We were
Funny.
totally wrong.
Why would I? Cordova. It's very. I should have remembered that.
Does it have rich Corinthian leather? Because, sorry, that's the Chrysler Cordoba, which nobody who's younger than I am is going to know anything about, but we owned one
That's awesome.
when I was a kid. We did. It is
Right
awesome.
on.
It is awesome, and I'll stand by that. So what do we think about the Oops files? How's that working out for us?
I'm sold.
All right.
Let's
All right.
do it. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Keep it in the files. The Oops files.
The Oops files.
I like it.
Do, 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 do. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to find. Maybe we should contact one Kitsch Membry, who might be able to, who wrote our theme song.
He
and
did.
We haven't hit him up to give us another bit of tunage in a while. Maybe
I think this
maybe
is
he'd
a
be down.
great opportunity to do that.
I like it. I
All
like
right.
it. Cool.
We're doing it.
All right.
Done.
Totes. It's happening. Woo! Woo!
All right.
All right. So, in this choose your own adventure game that is our podcast, what's next? What adventure are we choosing?
Well, John,
Yeah.
we have emails.
We do indeed.
We have fucking emails.
We have 3 fucking emails.
We do.
Count them. We are not fucking around here, people.
No, count them. 1, 2, 3.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Shall we jump into some mail? And now I haven't read these yet.
I have not either, and it's been very tough because a couple of these have been around for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall I go first?
I would love that if you would.
Should I just go
first.
in order of receipt?
I think that's the way to do it. So the one from May 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is from Patty Lynn. And
Friend of the pod.
friend of the pod, and you'll remember last time we heard from Patty in the old email box here. We were talking about the Mexican pizza, and she was throwing Dolly Parton under the bus and saying that you can't trust anything she has to say. She has the worst taste in the world because apparently Patty went to a Chinese restaurant with a photo of Dolly on the wall saying best restaurant Dolly's ever been to, or something to that effect.
That was all hearsay. I want to just point out because
Yes,
there was
exactly.
a photo of the photo, and I didn't see anything like that in the photo of the photo.
And so Dolly, I wish, Patty
Dolly wrote us an
responded.
email.
Patty responded to we humiliated Patty because we gave her all these reasons why Dolly would lie about this restaurant.
Sure.
And basically because she's a good person, doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right.
So Patty says, "Hi, John and Kat. I love how you both bent over backwards to come up with explanations for why Dolly's picture was on the wall of that shit Chinese restaurant in Idlewild. I admit they're all plausible. But given
That's a
that
big admission. I just want to say
It
right
is.
there.
It
Right
is.
there. We could just stop right there.
But we're not going to.
Okay, fair.
But given that Dolly has also endorsed the Mexican pizza at Taco Bell, I can't help but suspect that Dolly may not be the best judge of ethnic food.
Shots fired. Okay.
She's just not letting this go.
I mean, here's the thing. I gotta say, I've been clear on this from the outset. I think my position has always been like firmly communicated to the public. I have never had a Mexican pizza.
Right.
I'm not above eating one. I think it may not be the pinnacle of cuisine that, Kat, you find it to be.
Okay,
I mean,
for the record, I've never said that it's the pinnacle of
I
cuisine.
could have sworn I heard you say
It's just-
it was the pinnacle of
No,
cuisine.
it's just my favorite item on the Taco Bell menu.
Okay. So the lowest bar in the world.
I'm just saying. I still love it.
Fair. Okay.
Patty can, well, you know what we should do?
What?
We're going to get a couple if we can find them, we'll get a couple Mexican pizzas and we'll have a taste test.
Find
See what you
them.
think.
I can walk to Taco Bell from here.
They're
You
selling
know.
out, John.
Oh. Well, are people getting beat up over them like the Popeyes chicken sandwiches? Is that what's happening?
I haven't heard anything about that. No, I don't think they're getting beaten
If
up.
nobody's getting their nose broke over this, then I just feel like it's not that big a deal.
Anyway, you're going to
Okay.
have one, and we're going to do it
You're gonna watch
together.
my face light up.
Yeah.
In
I want to be there.
fair.
Patty continues, by the way, I went to high school in New Jersey, and that's another state where you're not allowed to pump your own gas. This is a timely topic.
There we go. Right.
Then I lived in New York and didn't have a car. So when I moved to California at the age of 25, someone had to teach me how to pump gas. It was embarrassing. XOXO, Patty.
Yay, Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
Yeah. Well, and that was to answer my question. And the thing was, I was pretty sure there was another state. And what's even sad is that the person who had gone on a rant about why he would never move to Oregon because they wouldn't let you pump your own gas. Also did tell me that New Jersey was the other state that was like that. I couldn't remember it at the time. You know,
Okay.
People will sometimes diss a podcast host or guest because they can't come up with something in the moment. I
Sure.
would challenge them to hold a microphone in front of their face and try to remember every bit of trivia they've ever heard in their lives. But
Yes.
but I
Talking
think
to a microphone for an hour and don't say something stupid.
don't say something dumb.
Good luck.
I dare you. Mhm. I mean, I'd say like 80% of what I say fits that category. But thank you, Patty, for filling in that blank that the other
Yes.
state was, in fact, New Jersey. Almost completely the other side of the country.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not almost. I think it really almost. I could draw a line from Oregon to New Jersey.
I think you could.
I could draw a line between any 2 points, but that's because I'm a
Whoa,
talented cat.
you're
right?
such a show off, John.
I know.
And speaking of Patty, are we allowed to say that she was at your birthday party?
I think we're allowed to say that.
Can we say that?
Yeah, I got to
She
see
was,
Patty Lynn in person for the first time in 2 years since the first time she was a guest on the podcast.
Amazing.
Back when we used to do stuff in person and breathe on each other
Yeah.
and like spit on each other and all kinds
Disgusting.
of just be gross. Yeah, like ugh.
And she was pitching us some ideas for some more content. So,
Right.
always be pitching. Patty's always pitching.
ABP.
ABP. So, yeah. Patty Lynn coming to your ear holes soon.
I thought you were going to say a theater near you to sort of give a little tease to the pitch.
Oh.
Hey, mistakers! If you liked the cinemistake that was Mac and me, let us know if you'd like to hear more of those. We have already heard from at least one listener that they would like to hear more of those, and give us your suggestions for films. I say films because it's a fancier way of saying movie.
It's very fancy. You're so fancy, John.
I know, I'm a fancy dude.
You're a fancy lad.
Yeah, let us know, and you can write us that in an email that would be addressed to mymistakepodcast@gmail.com. Hey, it's been a couple weeks, folks.
You had to think about it.
I needed a moment. I had to collect myself. All right, and
That's fair.
why don't we collect another email
Yeah.
that we got? And this is I need to know how to pronounce this name. Tina
Yeah.
is an avid listener and has been, as active as anyone has, I think, on our Facebook page, who has liked a couple of episode releases, and that's great.
Yeah, we
And
love Tina.
What's that?
We love Tina.
We do. We love Tina. Tina, I'm probably gonna butcher your last name, and it would be really helpful if you could let me know how to pronounce that by, like, I don't know, maybe sending me a phonetic.
Should we say her last name?
Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should just
think
call
we
her
should.
Tina. And I'm using a pronoun there that I do not know Tina's pronoun, so I hope it's okay to use she.
I believe it's she. I think
Okay.
we've never been told otherwise, and we've talked about and read emails from Tina before. So
That's right. All right.
We're gonna
So
go
we're
with
just going to
she.
say Tina. And now I
Yeah.
don't have to butcher the last name, and yay. All right. The title of this email, and it does have a title, is The Blame and the Credit.
I love that.
Me too. Not mad at all. And Tina, I'm going to make an admission here. I don't know why you would be mad at us at this stage of the email. I have not read this email before, so I don't know what we're going to get into, but we're going to find out here. Okay. First, you blame me and having a rant about blaming the Swede for making Wendy interested in the poop knife. Okay, now I remember. Okay. I don't remember blaming Tina, though.
I mean, it probably
Okay,
happened.
Maybe it happened. Then you give Beck the credit for talking about the poop knife. Hi,
Oh
Beck.
man. Hey,
Hey,
Beck.
Beck. And yes, we'll say it here too, Beck. Deal with it. And then you totally forgot who it was that brought it up in the first place. Yeah, not mad. Wink emoji. Keep up the good work, Tina from Sweden. Right?
Oh shit.
Yeah. The poop knife. I mean, well, yeah. Poop.
The,
right?
the poop knife strikes again.
The poop knife, I think the thing that's so compelling about the poop knife story is that, like, most people, they're not familiar with the concept or the story or the utility of the poop knife, right?
Right.
But the people who are, they totally, like, it's just a very common thing in their lives.
Well, also, like, there's three types of people, John.
Oh, tell me about the three types.
There are people who've never heard of a poop knife and have no interest in discussing a poop knife.
Sure.
And then there are people who, as you had just said, who are very much aware of it and possibly use it or know people who do use it. I think the third type of people, they are new to the idea. They've never used it, but are really intrigued by the idea of it.
Fascinated.
Like
by
they
the
just
concept
can't.
of the poop
And I feel like the poop knife keeps coming up because people are like, I just can't get it out of my head.
Right. No, I mean here's one of the things that I wonder about. Are there people who use a poop knife because it's tradition in their family,
Right.
even if they have modern good plumbing where they don't need to use it, but because they grew up in a place where there was a need for the poop knife,
Right.
are they continuing to use the poop knife? I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a question. In any case, Tina, please take all of the credit, none of the blame. When it comes to poop knives, I mean, we're all guilty, one way or another, I think.
None of us are getting out of this clean.
No, none of us are.
I mean, yeah, Tina, on behalf of My Mistake and anyone else involved in all this ridiculousness, we would like to apologize to you and the people of Sweden. We are sorry. We apologize.
People of Sweden, not the people of Denmark, not the people of Belgium. Just the people of Sweden.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Tina.
We're sorry. Okay.
And then I love how she signs off. Keep up the good work. I feel like between the lines there, it's like, keep up the good work, you idiots.
You jerks who
Get it
both
right.
blamed me and did not give me credit for the thing that I actually did.
We
Right.
love you, Tina.
We
We're
do.
sorry.
We do. Please keep listening.
Please, Tina.
Please do.
Please, Tina, please. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's what's happening next.
Yes.
I'm not reading this, AK.
Okay.
It's better if you read it.
I suspected. I didn't realize, because as I said, I had not read these. So, dear listeners, we are just opening these emails as we see them. This is a longie, which is good.
I should have known.
We need the content, and we
we
love
love it.
We love AK.
Of course we do.
They are an asset to our podcast.
I just saw a line that comes up later. I'm very excited about it.
All right.
But no, it's better. It's better for everyone involved if you, in fact, read this email, John.
You say that. We'll see. All right. I'm gonna give it a go here.
Great.
And again, this is a cold read.
Yes.
And this was I'm gonna say this was my strength in auditions back when I was trying to make it
Nice.
in the biz.
Sure.
Cold reads were good. Most people are terrible at cold reads, but then they get much, much better when they actually know what they're going to say. For some reason, I'm backwards. I was built upside down.
Oh no.
Oi! Excuse me? Whoa. Hold on there. Oh, my dudes. Now you owe me an apology.
Oh my God! It's the apology
this is the theme.
episode.
It is. It's the total apology episode. Because in your apology to, and this, I want to emphasize here, this is italicized. In your apology to Beck, hey Beck, I'm coming back to you. Kat suggested that it was I who brought
here we go.
a certain lavatorial aid to the attention of the snop, leading to Wendy's accidental involvement in the pod crime of content theft. Okay, AK, I love you so much.
It's fantastic.
And one of the things that I love is I'm not on the hook for this. It all seems like it's you, Kat. It's just,
probably me.
it's all your fault. And that
It's
makes me
always me.
happier. Okay.
I'm so happy for you, John.
Yay. I must vehemently assure you, I did no such thing. I'll cop to maybe aiding and abetting on bringing Hayback here from the snop, but I have never, in all my mistling my tart correspondence with either podcast, mentioned the tool in question. Tweren't me, Gov. I think you'll find that came from someone further north than me, and you probably owe them an apology for attributing it to me. Well, this is all tying together.
Wow.
It's-
Did they talk earlier?
I don't think so, but clearly AK is keeping tabs on Tina, and
That's great.
yeah, you have an advocate, Tina. AK is advocating for you. All right, Mistling in the North.
Mistling in the north.
Mistling in the North. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a reasonable guess. It was pretty likely, all things considered, but in this case, not guilty. Beck, touche. I see no flying pigs. It doesn't surprise me that you would know words pertaining to childer that I, residing as I do with John and Kat in the joyously child-free camp, am entirely unfamiliar with. I'm sure there are many, though. Naturally, I have cheerfully not the faintest idea what they are. I applaud anyone willing to take on parenting, though. Good effort, you.
Same.
Yep, definitely. Better you than us. Do you know, nibbling is a word I once saw in that context. I thought to myself, that'll never catch on. Sounds too cannibalistic. Facepalm. God help the Anglophone if that's the best we can come up with. I mean, nibblings, I'm going to say Team Sibspring, and I'm with you on this, and I've been clear on this also. My position on this issue, Kat, has never wavered. I am not a flip-flopper. I have been a Sibspring from the beginning.
Indeed.
I'm not against nibbling, but I really like the cut of Sibspring's jib. Okay, even if the whole world adopts nibbling around me, Sorry, let me start that. I'm going to stay Team Sib Spring, even if the whole world adopts nibbling around me. Now, I despair for the language ever finding a gender-neutral term for sir or ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
that
another
is-
conundrum.
We need that.
We do. We need it.
We need it.
Because they're all gendered. I mean, like, even if I was thinking in Spanish, there's like don and doña. No, definitely still gendered.
Yep.
We got to figure out a term of respect and, there's got to be something.
There's got to be something.
We'll make it. I feel like we need to look to Esperanto at this point, which was
Okay, sure.
You know about Esperanto, Kat?
I sure do.
Okay, well, I won't talk about it then. But Captain
Save
Kirk.
that for a
Hey.
mistake. Hysterical mistake.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, although it's such a yes, we're going to save that for hysterical mistake. Never mind. My Sib Springs call me their uncle. I love this. AUNCLE.
That's cool.
Well, honestly, they tried. They mostly call me ankle, which I'm good with. And now the question is, have they ever bitten you, AK? Because then they would be ankle biters. And it's just a thing. It isn't especially objectionable as these things go. The eldest did get in trouble at school, though, using this made-up word in a piece about family. It got crossed through and marked down as wrong by the teacher.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. And I was about to make a comment, but I see that she's addressing it. John, I know you feel their pain at the terrible injustice. Maybe it was worse for them than you, as they didn't even invent the word themselves. Earthins, not
Earthins.
earthlings, and I did it on purpose, and I should not have been marked down, and I remember it 42 years later. All right. They didn't even invent the word themselves. It was genuinely what the real word they live in presented to them, or presented them with. There was much bafflement and upset. Bless them, my two NB Sib Springs credit me with their early realization, as my always answering their baffled, "Are you a girl or a boy?" with "Nope," gave them real-world alternatives right from the start. Proud ankle.
I love it.
I love it too. That's wonderful. Strange thing, Beck. Beck. Much as I enjoy our little
From the
third-party,
message board. I love it.
we're just like, I feel like this is that like in the wilds of Alaska in the winter, where the radio stations pass messages back, and all the way to so people can get messages back and forth. We really only exist so that AK and Beck can communicate
talk.
with each other. Much as I enjoy our little third-party chats, I don't really have any picture of you in my mind, because for me, it comes from the voice I hear, and I've only heard you by proxy. I would suggest we should all get on a Zoom together, but I have a feeling that Taz, the UK, and LA are basically impossible to schedule all at once and have all parties be conscious. I mean, I do go to bed at 10:30 at night these days. It's the thing.
We can figure something out.
We can make this happen. This could be done.
I think we could.
For sure. I'm curious, naturally, what you and John imagine I look like besides Dumbledore. And it occurred to me that the amount of entertaining this entire endeavor would be to anyone else is directly linked to whether you and John can describe an imaginary person. I feel like a gauntlet has been thrown down here. I mean, verbally, Kat and I are hard to beat. Kat, do you think you can describe an imaginary person?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get on this right quick. And then Kat described the reality, should we not all Zoom. Even then, I imagine it'd be more interesting to me than anyone else. Of course it would. Things about ourselves are the most interesting things in the world, because
Always.
we're all, to a greater or lesser degree, we're all narcissistic. When someone shows me a photo, I look for my own face.
Of
I do.
course.
I want to see
Always.
how I'm representing myself, All right. Final paragraph here. Here we go. Kat, you had me singing and thumping the steering wheel along with John Loves Rim Jobs this week. Shit. While I swerved around, avoiding the young and stupid animals who have taken over trying to kill themselves on the roads.
Oh, boy.
That was fun. You know, I think it's really great that John feels able to share this proclivity with the world. The least we can do to support him is sing along, if not actively spread the hashtags.
I agree.
Take it easy, kids. Is it hashtags that we're spreading if we're really supporting this proclivity? Is that what's, is it? Seems like something else is getting spread.
Oh,
Oh, AK, thank you so much.
Thanks, AK.
You just basically carried a quarter of our podcast episode. And in a very
God bless
entertaining
them.
way. Bless
God
them.
bless them.
Bless them. They should be
Yes.
a writer for us, except that then we'd have to pay them. So just keep doing what you're doing, please.
Yes. Continue doing what you're doing for free.
For
please.
free. For the amount that we're already paying you. Let's put it that way.
Amazing.
Woo. Yeah. That's what's up.
That's what's up.
That's the Oops Files, and we do not have a name for our mail segment, and I think
No.
that's partly because it's only really in the last few weeks that we have inspired so much correspondence, and I'm so pleased. And let me please once again reiterate that we love getting email from you. It's huge. It lets us know that it's not just us with our weird hobby, but people are actually out there in the wilderness listening to our voices.
Yes. It is like the best damn feeling in the world.
It really
so
is. It really
we
is.
appreciate it so much.
Because I'd do it if you didn't write, but it makes it motivates me. So yeah, if you want me to keep doing this, keep writing. So, like, I find it hard to believe there would have been no content generated, but it might be that the content that was generated belongs to another podcast besides this
No,
one.
I mean that's a good question. So, John, are you referring to this convention that I was just participated
These two
in?
conventions that you were at, but this most recent one is the
Right.
most exciting because you were clearly once again like hanging out with the big wigs, the high muckety mucks, the famosas.
Sure, in a capacity. I wasn't like I'm not like friends with them.
I have total photo evidence that you're best friends with Emily. Andrews. I'm just saying.
But no, so I did go to, there was a convention called Herb Expo in New Orleans a couple weeks ago, where a bunch of people got COVID, and sadly, someone passed away, which was very sad and
I did not know that.
sobering. Yes, it
Yeah.
was awful. I'm trying to think of if any mistakes happened that weekend. I mean, I'm sure there are. And then this last weekend, I was given the opportunity to be a moderator at Herb Division Expo,
Hell
which is
yeah.
very, very exciting for me, John. Really big deal in my life, in my world. Just was so grateful for the opportunity. I got to do it with Ann Hicks-Bleecker,
Yay, Ann Hicks-Bleecker.
member and friend of this podcast.
Absolutely.
And
Editor.
an editor, that too. Member, you know what I meant.
Member,
She's a member of the team. And
The
our
other-
friend Jill,
right?
who is a old school Erper, and the three of us, we're all first time moderators, and we were a team, and we helped each other out, and we stressed out together, and we freaked out together, we panicked together, and we did a great job.
Yay!
We hit it out of the park, and
You really did.
I'm so glad that's over. so stressful, and and we talked about it a lot over the weekend. It's the build up is, and this is like, it really reminded me of doing stand up again. It's like, okay, you have the date, it's looming over your head, and there's this like dark cloud of anxiety that just follows you around everywhere. And then the closer you get, the more nervous you get. And the most intense anxiety is like 5 minutes before you go on stage.
Right.
And then you go on stage and everything is great.
Sure.
And, we were all prepared. And so, like, I got to actually enjoy doing it. I remember doing it. I have moments of clarity during it. And it was so much fun.
That's awesome. That's so
Yeah,
great.
I had a
The,
blast.
the thing I remember the most about my stage fright, and I suffered from horrible stage fright, which I've mentioned enough times that
Yeah.
real fans know. But the number one thing is right before I would go out on stage, I always felt like I had to pee. So I
interesting.
had developed like a little ritual where like 15 minutes before I was going to go on stage, I would go and pee. And then I would know that the feeling that I had to pee was just that, a
Got it.
feeling, and didn't actually
Smart.
have to do so. Yep.
That's very
Yep.
smart.
Yeah.
It's very no, it is smart. I don't really have a ritual like that. It's just feeling like I'm going to die.
Sure. No, I mean, it's like, is it actually that you're going to die or that you're going to be mortified that you're going to like embarrass yourself and not be able to show your face in front of the world ever again?
Yeah, it's that. It's
Mm-hmm.
becoming tongue tied. It's forgetting things. I mean, I had my laptop in front of me. I had my questions. I'd read over them a million times. I
Right.
knew what I was asking. But it's just, it's not rational fear,
No.
because what's the worst that's going to happen? Oh, each time I had 4 really seasoned, brilliant, funny women on my panels. I was so lucky with what panels I got.
Right.
So that I knew that they know what the people want to hear.
Right.
They've heard, this is not their first rodeo. And they're gonna lift you up. They don't want you to. They want you to succeed. And in both panels, the person directly sitting next to me was like, "Oh, that was a good question. Oh, you're doing really good." Like super nice and supportive. It was so sweet. So there's no way they're gonna let us fail.
Right.
But it still doesn't. It just it's just anxiety's a bitch, John.
It is. It is. And what I found was when I was going on stage regularly, and I was never doing stand up because holy shit, I've not had the guts to do it. But when I was going on stage regularly, it did get easier. It was never like painless. There was never
Right.
anxiety free performances.
Right.
But I learned to kind of enjoy the anxiety, like especially when you're doing a play, like after a while you kind of know what's up. Like I mean, I never did a run where I did it for like 3 months or anything,
Right.
but like it was amazing that you could still get hit with like dropping a line like what the hell am I supposed to say right now? I've been on autopilot and now I don't know where I am. Because like you get, as you do a play, it's memorized lines, totally different from what you were doing because you're doing what is essentially improv. You have your set questions, but you don't know what the answers are going to be, so you don't know what your follow-ups are going to be or anything like that. But yeah,
Right.
it's to keep the emotion in a script that you're saying the same words over and over again is very different from that, but still has its own challenges.
Well, and I've done stand up. I was in one school play. I had a line. So, but like the idea of, doing stand up, like you're on your own. Like if you fuck up a
Right.
thing, that's on you.
Right.
If you're in a play, what you say affects the rest of the play.
Right.
Like
It's an
that
ensemble.
seems like
Yeah.
that's intense to me. That would be super stressful.
Sure. So if you would lose a line, if you would forget a line, you would have to like make something up that would get you to the place that you need to be at.
Right.
And sometimes you were doing that for someone else because you saw them freeze, you saw the deer in the headlights look, and it's like, what could I say that might not make total sense, but will still get us from A to B?
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing. So I don't know. I think you, as a stand-up, you do that for yourself. But the thing is, in an ensemble, if somebody drops a line, nobody in the audience necessarily knows who it was who dropped it.
That's true.
If you're a stand-up and you freeze, people know whose fault that is.
People are only looking at one person.
That's right. That's right.
And that's you.
That's you, Kat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. One day I'm going to do a set of stand-up. It's going to happen.
I believe you.
Yeah. So last night we watched the memorial kind of celebration at the Comedy Store for Bob Saget,
Right.
and I have to say, like, it was kind of amazing because Bob Saget he was a filthy mouthed comedian, but yet he was everybody's like favorite uncle on a TV show that I never did see one episode of.
You've never seen Full House?
No, it came out apparently like in '89 I think was when it started.
Sure.
And I was in college and did not have a TV. I was too busy drinking and attempting to, have physical relations with members of the opposite sex.
You got it, dude.
But I know that because I know gifts. Thank you very much. That's
enough.
an Olsen twin thing. You got it, dude.
Yes, it is.
So, but I had seen Bob Saget's stand up, and I knew that like there were things about him that you don't hear about many comedians, like the fact that people would bring up, he would tell people he loved them. Like whenever he saw them, he would be like, he would tell them that he loved them. And apparently everybody who was friends with Bob Saget thought they were his best friend.
Oh,
This was brought up several times in the whole
that's
thing.
amazing.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is a guy who I heard people rail against because he was filthy and whatever. And I heard other people who were like, they're like, cause he did, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Right.
And he made like terribly cheesy jokes and that kind of thing. People would say, oh, he's so terrible. And I felt that way too. I was like, oh man, these are terrible jokes. But if I'm honest, if you cut the commercials out of America's Funniest Home Videos, I would watch that. I would binge that all day long. No problem.
Yeah, I watched it every week with my family.
Sure.
It was must-see TV.
Yeah. But Jackson Browne came on and did 2 songs and had me in tears with one of them. Like it was, yeah. And he played with John Mayer, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but the two of them had a guitar thing going. I highly recommend you check this out. I believe it's
cool.
on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Bob Saget's friends and some of his family. His daughters are on there and his wife. Yeah, come on and talk about him. That's just some TV that I watched that has nothing
Amazing.
to do with mistakes, but other than whatever it was that happened.
Yeah. Bizarre, right?
It is that he apparently hit his head very hard, didn't realize how bad it was, and laid down in the bed. So yeah, crazy.
Awful.
Yeah. So
Way to bring it down.
way to bring the room
So anyways,
down,
I had a great
Fitzy.
time this last weekend.
Yeah,
And,
I'm glad that you did.
and I don't know if you know this, but Snop recorded a live show there.
I am
which
aware.
was-
I have not heard it yet. I believe it dropped today, the day that we were recording. Is that right? Or was it yesterday?
dropped yesterday.
Yesterday.
But
Okay.
it's out there. And I have to say, John, I look forward to our first live show. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
I think it is too.
You and I.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to our next in-person recorded podcast episode. And then after that, yeah, live would be great. I mean,
Yes.
this is the thing. How do we figure out where a giant mistake is going to happen and then broadcast live from where that mistake is? We don't have like an
interesting.
Evil Knievel. Like, because back in the day, we could totally go, Evil Knievel's entire career is a giant mistake.
Yeah. Just follow him around.
Yeah. Like, is he going to jump a canyon or a river or a river canyon? Or what's happening?
Interesting idea. I like that. Okay. Yeah. We just have to find someone who makes mistakes all the time.
And then follow them around and be talking into our recorders.
I like it.
Yep. I think it's
Okay.
good. Okay.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. But until then, wait, there is one thing that I wanted to bring up. I read a headline. Now, you may know that January 6th hearings are happening, and there's a lot of stuff going on in there. I'm hearing a lot of praise for a particular individual within the January 6th whole, the story surrounding that. And the part that kind of rankles with me, like, listen, I can recognize if a bad person does something good, they deserve praise.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But if a bad person doesn't do something bad because they know that their shit is going to get in a lot of trouble afterwards because their lawyer tells them so, I'm not inclined to praise that person,
Right.
I mean,
he did the very least that he could do. Like, yeah.
yeah, he just
did his job.
didn't
He did his-
break constitutional law.
He didn't break the country.
Yeah, he didn't break the country. So I guess good on you, Mike Pence. But also Fuck you, Mike Pence.
Fuck you, Mike Pence. But thank you, Mike Pence.
I mean,
But
kind
fuck
of
you.
thank you, but also
thank
fuck you.
But fuck you. But also, like, fuck Donald Trump.
Oh,
Always.
totally.
No question.
No question there.
We have to say something about Anne so that she has to cut that out. So
Yeah.
we have to say something like,
Anne is not nice to animals.
Anne hates animals.
Anne
She,
hates animals.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
She has a turtle. She abuses that turtle
Oh,
terribly.
just awful to that turtle. The things she does. But yeah. Okay.